If we learn anything from COVID, it's that they can control the mass because the mass don't listen. So please do not comply because, wow. Also, I've seen a status, someone saying, if you do everything right and you pay your TV licence and your tax, then why are you bothered about digital ID? And that is the main reason why this is going to happen to us, because of people like that. Because majority of the public truly believe if you're a good citizen, then the digital ID shouldn't be a problem. And that is the main issue here. And I can't even be bothered to discuss why. It is nothing to do with whether you're a good citizen or not, whether this is a bad idea. It is the most horrendous thing to happen to the UK, and if you comply, then you deserve it.
Digital ID, the final boss, the Trojan horse, I say. Well, here's one thing that I want to put out for everyone, and I know that there's going to be millions of confused people, and they may even paint this to look like a good thing. It's quite comical that they're using it as an excuse to stop the votes, which we know is not true. Digital ID has been spoken of for many years, and years ago, the whole world stood up and said no. Well, that's a lie. A massive portion, millions of people worldwide, stood up and said no to the lockdowns and no to the forced and mandated injections. This time round, we know there's going to be millions and millions and millions more people that are going to say no. And this digital ID is not going to go through as well as they think. It's going to make you think that you're going to lose your rights and stuff if you do not have one. May even lose your work if you do not have one. Well, put it this way, you'll lose a lot more if you comply. So this is the final battle that we now need to see that humanity has once and for all awoken to the tyrannical, corrupt, evil system.
Friends, followers, fellow citizens, we're at a crossroads around the world. Governments and corporations are pushing out for the rollout of so-called digital ID. They promise us convenience, efficiency and security, but what they don't tell us is the price, our freedom, our privacy and our independence. With digital ID, every purchase, every movement, every interaction could be logged and monitored. It creates a perfect system for surveillance, where those in power can track us, control us and even punish us at the push of a button. History has once shown us that the governments gain new powers, they rarely give them back. Today may just start as an ID, tomorrow it could be required for banking, travel, healthcare, even buying groceries. Imagine a world where stepping out of line means being locked out of everyday life. That's not security, that's control. We cannot allow convenience to become the excuse for tyranny. We cannot trade freedom for comfort. The fight against digital ID is not about left or right, it's about protecting human dignity and liberty. If we care about the generations to come, we must take a stand now. Say it loud, say it clear, no to digital ID, yes to freedom.
I want to speak plainly today about something that should concern every single one of us. The creeping push for a digital ID system here in the United Kingdom. We're told it's for convenience. We will be told it will make life easier. But let me ask you, convenient for whom? Easier for who? Because from where I'm standing, it looks far less about making our lives simpler and far more about giving government a tighter grip on every aspect of who we are. Think about it. They want one ID that will link our work, our banking, our passports, our driving licenses, even probably purchases that we make in the future. One key to every door of our private lives. That isn't efficiency, that's control. That's surveillance. That's a government placing itself not at the edges of our lives, but right at the centre of them. And let me be clear, for those of us born and bred here, we are already documented. We have birth certificates, national insurance numbers, passports, proof of residency. We do not yet need another layer of identification. We do not need a system that turns us into a walking QR code. Now, some will argue, but isn't this about migrants? Isn't it about making sure newcomers are properly documented? Well, let's not pretend that system doesn't already exist. There are visas, permits and licenses for those who come here through the right channels. That's the immigration control people. That's already in place. This digital ID proposal isn't about them, it's about us. It's about forcing every citizen into a system that we never asked for.
Hey there and welcome to the Eco Renegade. So Vietnam has closed 86 million bank accounts. They have frozen them, seized the assets, but they've closed the accounts. And that's 43% of all the accounts. There's around 200 million in Vietnam. Really? And the quote that they give is, prevent fraud and cybercrime. It's always in your best interest, except when it isn't. Can you imagine that number, 86 million, how many millions of people and families that have actually gone into serious trouble because they cannot access their account, either because they refused or couldn't give, the digital ID. That's what they wanted. You had to register a digital ID with biometric data. Give more of your privacy away without your choice. And if you don't do it, we'll take your money, whether you like it or not. That sounds very similar to what they used to do with the banks. I cannot quite remember the name of them, but they'd go in, take the money without permission. I thought that was illegal, but obviously not if you're a government. And the Canadian government has already shown us how to do this, because they closed the accounts of the truckers because of a peaceful protest. How the people that authorise that are not in jail serving long sentences, well, is anybody's guess. But the serious point here is, it's coming here. They're pushing for digital IDs. And what's going to be the pushback? When is it going to stop? We had it during COVID. Oh, just get one vaccination and you'll be fine. And then they took away your permissions after you got your vaccine and said, no, actually you need another one, and then another one. The point is, these type of people, they keep on taking more and more. The more we give away our freedom, our power, the more they'll take. We are on the edge of a cliff. We don't actually act now and start saying enough is enough. Whether we have to form a brand new government, whatever it is we have to do, or just stop using cards, we have to show that we are not going to allow this or accept this.
I cannot believe this is fucking happening. We were literally called conspiracy theorists for talking about digital ID. Now look. I do not consent to digital ID. No, thank you. You are consenting to complete enslavement if you do this. If you've got any common sense about you, please say no. They're just doing it all at once, aren't they? And he's making out this is all to do with immigration control. No, it's not. They are using that. They are just using that. You're being manipulated. The same as fucking COVID. No.
Good evening, everybody. So the government has announced that they're going to be rolling out new digital IDs with all of the aim of curbing illegal working and illegal immigration. Now, that will still continue with this measure, because it's not about that. The whole purpose of a government ID or a digital ID is not to do that. Every time the government tells you there's something they're bringing in for your safety, generally don't believe it, because almost entirely it's not going to be that. So why are they bringing this? Well, Tony Blair, the Dark Lord himself, has wanted this for many, many years. Ever since, I think, he left office. He tried to push it towards the end of his tenure, but there's been a lot of backlash for this, and quite rightly. I think 1 million people have signed a petition against this, because it will be mandatory for you to have it, and it'll without it you won't be able to work. So you have to have it to right to work. So it sort of undermines having a national insurance number to begin with. And second of all, it also makes it so that you can't rent a property without it. Now, if it was just those two things, I'm sure people could live with it. But what it evolves into is what is the more dystopian, the more Orwellian thing out of it. The more 1984 sort of big brother coming at you. So what could it lead to? Well, it could lead to many things. It can lead to the government tracking your every move, what you purchase. And if you do something you don't like, they can cut you from that purchase. So say your carbon footprint is too high this month, no more, fuel for you for this month. Or you go and buy some meat. You've had your monthly meat rations, no more for you. Another part of it, that's probably negative to me at least, is that it's susceptible. No one can really, unless I lose my ID, which I've got with me now, no one can take it, unless it gets stolen, of course. But if it's digitalised, the government could quite literally, at any moment, just shut it down. So suddenly everything is, you're literally a non-citizen. You're cancelled, but not by society, but by the government. So what would that lead to? Well, that would lead to you becoming dependent on the state, which is the goal of this all. It is to make you dependent on the state, because then once you're dependent, they have more control of you, right? So going forward, I think it will pass, because the Labour government have such a big majority in Parliament, so there's going to have a little trouble getting this law through and making it mandatory. But I think a lot of people will backtrack against it, will fight against it, as I will be. If you get your phone stolen, are you now breaking the law because you have no digital ID? There's food for thought there.
86 million bank accounts seized in Vietnam from citizens who are refusing digital ID.
The State Bank of Vietnam, SBV, just closed 43% of all bank accounts in Vietnam because they hadn't complied with biometric authentication, in other words, digital IDs, based on your fingerprint or your eye. And that's out of 200 million accounts across a population of 70 million.
I will absolutely, categorically never sign up for this new government digital ID. Government tyranny and state control already have you by the bollocks. They already fine you for everything. They already tax you for everything. And then they fine you again, and then they raise your bills, and then they inflate the price of everything. And this is just another step towards complete and utter social credit type Orwellian control. And the people in the UK are such fucking pussies that once again, we're going to allow this overstep in government control to take us deeper into this dystopian reality. And this is exactly how it happens. They slowly trickle it in, new laws, new fines, new taxes, new zones, etc., until it becomes normalized in our brains and we just accept it. And guess who is the most affected by all of this? Us. The people of this country. And here is a tweet from Keir himself saying this is a bad idea. So what changed, mate? If you even consider signing up to this bullshit, I will automatically assume that you are just a cuck of the government and of the state. If anything, I actually think you're a coward and a traitor to anyone that believes and stands up for freedom. How about this time, we actually come together and do something about this? This government has 120 ministers. That means that 120 people are controlling the fate of almost 70 million people that live in this country. This country used to be a nation of warriors, brave warriors that went to wars, fought wars for our freedoms. And now we're just a bunch of pussies that bend over, take it, and then have to get home to catch up on the latest Love Island. We are fucked.
Everyone's talking about digital ID, but most people don't actually understand what it means. If this comes in, it won't just be your passport on an app. They'll know every credit card you've got, every loan, how much money comes in, how much money goes out. Even when you buy a pint of milk, they'll know. Imagine this right now, your life is like a house with different rooms. Your bank account is one room, your health records another, your shopping habits is another room. Some doors are closed, some are private. Digital ID knocks all those walls down. And once they've got that level of access, it's not freedom anymore, it's full control, dressed up as convenience.
So Starmer has just released that all adults in the UK, they now need a digital ID because, none of us have any ID, do we? We don't have passports or driving licence. Folks, if you cannot see the corruption, if you can't see what's being rolled out in front of you right now, God says my people are being destroyed because of their lack of knowledge. So many people are blind, they just don't know the truth.
You can stick your digital ID up your ass, up your ass. You can stick your digital ID up your ass, up your ass. You can stick your digital ID, stick your digital ID, stick your digital ID up your ass, singing tra la 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 la. Fuck you, tra la 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 la. Fuck you, la 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 la. Fuck la 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 la. Fuck la 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 la. Fuck you. Oh mate, is it me? Don't get any better. Oh, it gets better and better, doesn't it? Oh, what's next, guys? Jesus Christ. Oh, my God. The fact that I think that we're going to... Oh, some lady was on the news saying, no, it's compulsory for every British citizen. They're going to absolutely have to have the digital ID to work. As if the national insurance, fucking birth certificate, passport ain't enough. Jesus Christ. They just want to fucking see every fucking part of our life, don't they? They want to see us taking a shit many times we want. And do we fold bits of tissue paper after? Oh, Jesus, they're going to have every fucking little damn thing. I just feel like, you know what, it's becoming North Korea soon. Starmer's going to get a Kim Jong-un haircut. And, I just feel like we're just going to be all actors. We're not allowed out of this country. We're not allowed this and that. Go fuck yourself, or royally, you bunch of cunts.
It's called organised chaos. Finding something that would absolutely trigger you. And you fell right up in it. They knew that you was going to try and burn down the hotels. They knew that you was going to cause mayhem on the roads. They knew that you was going to rally. But you fell right into it. But now they got the solution, right? And the solution is a digital ID. And apparently it's going to control the immigrants. But not only is it going to control the immigrants, what they said to everybody who lives in England, if we don't have this on us, we won't be able to even work in England. So I just want to say to everybody who was involved in this, well done. Well done.
So Keir Starmer's going ahead with the digital ID. I don't know that I need to make any historical parallels to this. This is incredibly scary. I'm not going to beat around the bush there. When the government is putting in place a form of identification which means that you will no longer have any capacity to be anonymous anywhere, That's an infringement on our rights, on our freedoms. And I really think that when the government is threatening to put all of us under 24/7 surveillance, that's not something that should be taken lightly. That's not something that should be ignored. And that's not something that should ever be allowed to be put in place. We all need to make sure that this doesn't happen, because if it does, then the consequences will be horrific. We will no longer be able to do anything without being spied on. And we all know that Keir Starmer's Labour Party, that his government, do not stand for our freedom to speak or to have any opinions that differ from them.
Digital ID is not a left or right wing issue, and we must come together to stop this. At the time of recording this, the petition against it was at 1.4 million signatures. No one voted for it. It wasn't in the manifesto for the government, and in my opinion would be an entirely undemocratic move. They claim it will help curb illegal immigration and the black job market, but it won't. There is almost no evidence or argument to support this. Once we've all been forced to have it, they will tell us the black market is bypassing it with cash, and that also has to go, to protect us. The think tank behind Digital ID published the benefits of it, and for those to work, it would have to be connected to everyone's bank account. That's not an ID card. The DVLA don't have open access to my bank account through my driver's licence. The most frightening thing is it will monitor your incomings and outgoings and even auto-calculate your tax returns and potentially, eventually take the tax owed directly. What happens when it inevitably makes a mistake? Again, this is not an ID card. It's an Orwellian cage. We have the huge issue of the system being hacked and everyone's information stolen, but also the very big risk of the government selling our data. To the people saying, if you're not doing anything wrong, why would you care? It's about privacy and freedom. I presume you don't do anything illegal in your home, but would you want a CCTV camera filming you in your kitchen and your bedroom that the government can tap into at any moment? Finally, it's being estimated to cost £1 billion, but every time the government does something like this, it's at least 5 times the cost, or even 10 times. So let's say £5 billion on something the majority don't want, no one voted for, and which will categorically be a deepening of the authoritarian state.